Game 8 of the 2024 FIDE World Chess Championship finds Ding Liren on white against Gukesh on black in a game of piercing strategy and tactics. We will break down every move, providing insights into the player's strategies and key turning points. Move by move, Ding starts with English opening, a flexible and positional system. Gukesh responds with a symmetrical e5, aiming for an equal and solid structure in the center. Dick advances the knight to c3, centralizing and keeping a grip on the center. Gukesh prefers the aggressive exchange approach by playing bishop b4, attacking the white knight. Ding centralized with the move of the knight on to d5, potentially exchanging the dark squared bishop to Gukesh develops with bishop e7, a very safe move, and starts his kingside castling plan. Ding moves to his knight to f3, trying to advance central control and support the d5 pawn. Gukesh holds with d6, supporting the e5 pawn. Ding is preparing to fianchetto the light squared bishop with g3. Gukesh replies with c6 in preparation to expand with d5 of b5. Ding moved to knight x e7. Then Gukesh recaptured Ding's knight with knight x e7, an important movement in the opening. Ding gave up the exchange of knights on e7, giving Gukesh to take with the knight. This trades off some of the minor pieces and opened up more lines. Ding further developed with bishop g2. He was preparing his bishop to fianchetto with the aim of targeting the weak spots of black. Gukesh played f6, supporting the pawn e5 and preventing white's pieces from creating an attack threat immediately. Ding castle kingside, Gukesh activates his bishop. Ding plays to support his c4. Advance and prepare to fianchetto his light squared bishop. Gukesh strikes in the center by playing d5, attempting to challenge white's position. Ding moved the bishop to e3, challenging the e7 and d6 squares. Gukesh castles, taking on an opportunity to get his king to safety. Ding plays the rook on the c1 file, aiming for the control of c file and putting pressure on black's queen side. Gukesh pushes a5, pushing black's queen side with this move and prepares for pushing b5. Ding moves knight to e1, moving forward to f3 or d3. Gukesh places the rook on e8, where he is eyeing for e file and supporting e5 pawn. Ding plays f4, attacking the center and creating lines for his pieces. Gukesh takes the pawn in an attempt to alleviate some of white's central pressure. Ding recaptures with the rook, heightening his attack. Gukesh takes the c4 pawn, gaining some material temporarily but perhaps opening the door to counterplay for white. Ding plays bxc4, open up the b file and pointing to black's queen side. Gukesh moves the knight to g6, eyeing a control outpost on e5 or f4. Ding pushes the rook into central position with rook e4. This move prepares to build on the pressure exerted at black's king side and center. Gukesh moves knight a6, envisioning moving the knight to the more active squares. Ding prepares a kingside thrust with knight c2, intending to shift his knight to d4. Gukesh counterattacks with queen c7, creating the possibility of the connecting the rooks and further developing the queen side. Ding moves knight d4, reaching a strong and central square for his knight and preparing attacking possibilities. Gukesh counters with bishop f7, developing his bishop and putting his rooks into connected play. Ding advances with d3, attacking black center and preparing to open lines. Gukesh counters with knight e5, hoping to challenge white's central dominance. Ding places the knight on f3, reinforcing control over the e5 square. Gukesh retreats his knight to d7, preparing to reposition it to a more active square. Ding trade rook with rook x e8 plus, simplifying the position and removing some of Gukesh's defending pieces. Gukesh recaptures with the rook. Ding plays rook b1, eyeing the b5 pawn and increasing pressure on black's queen side. Gukesh pushes b5, solidifying his pawn structure and preparing to advance further. Ding pushes cxb5 with threats against white's queen side. Gukesh answers queen b6 plus, checking the white's king and seeking relief in some pressure. Ding pushes the king to f1. Out of the check, Gukesh takes the piece back with cxb5, holding equal material but under continuous pressure. Ding moves the bishop to b2, attacking the a3 pawn and mobilizing the light squared bishop. Gukesh sacrifices the e2 pawn with bishop x a2, gaining material but opening up the position. Ding moves the bishop to d4, centralizing and exerting pressure on black's position. Gukesh mobilizes the knight with knight ac5, targeting the d4 bishop and hoping to shift the balance of power. Ding puts the rook on the c file, doubling rooks and preparing for a decisive push. Gukesh replies with bishop b3, putting pressure on white's queenside pawn. Ding moves the queen to e1, trying to support the attack on the e file. Gukesh develops the bishop to e6, reinforcing his position. Ding moves the queen to f2, supporting the rook to create more attacking opportunity. Gukesh moves the rook to c8, eyeing the c file and prepare to challenge white's queen side. Ding moves the bishop to e3, which defends the and improves his position. Gukesh retorts with rook c7, supporting the c6 pawn and preparing for more defending moves. Ding moves the knight to d4, aiming at controlling some key central squares. Gukesh responds with bishop f7, a supporting move in the defense. Ding moves the knight to c6. This forces an exchange. Gukesh responds with rook xc6 to keep things level. Ding takes back the bishop to simplifying the game. Gukesh captures with the queen. Ding trades queens and simplifies with bishop xc5. Gukesh plays s6, giving his king some spaces. Ding moves the king to e1 in preparation for the end. Gukesh pushes b4, pushing the queenside pawn forward. Ding puts the queen on d4, targeting key squares and opening up lines. Gukesh plays knight e5, placing the knight in a good position to support the pawns. Ding centralizes the king with king d2, planning to support his pawn. Gukesh places the queen on g2, attacking the king and aiming for a checkmate. Ding plays queen f2, positioning the queen to support the attack. Gukesh responds with queen d5, keeping his queen active. Ding places his queen on d4, offering a draw bride repetition. Gukesh moves his queen back to queen g2, keeping the pressure on. Another move repeat with queen f2. Ding pushes the queen to d4, aiming for a check. The queen to a2 plus, checking white's king. Then Ding retreats with the rook and Gukesh moves his queen back to queen e6. Ding places the queen to on d8, forcing black's king to move. Ding captures the queen with queen xa5, simplifying the position. Gukesh pushes b3, preparing to promote his pawn. Ding activates the rook with rook c1. Ding activates the rook with c1, reinforcing his control over the c file and preparing for a potential attack. Gukesh moves his queen back to queen d5, staying active in the center and creating defensive threats. Ding plays queen b4, targeting black's queenside pawn and increasing pressure. Gukesh counters with queen g2, repositioning the queen and keeping it active for both defense and offense. Queen e4. Ding consults with queen e4 plus, forcing an exchange of queens. Gukesh accepted that with queen xe4 and lives in a simplified position but on full alert due to advanced pawns and active rooks. White recaptures with dxe4, hoping to consolidate material advantage. Gukesh pushes b2, giving a passed pawn and building a pressure on the white's position. Ding puts his rook on b1 with the possibility of stopping a passed pawn and challenging white from the queen side. Gukesh moves the bishop to a2 so that all his remaining pieces can bring threats. Ding takes the bishop on b2 with rxb2 making the position even simpler by removing any real attack prospects for black. Kukesh advances to knight c4 plus creating a pawn threat that forces the king in front of him out of the protection. Ding move the key to kc3 not under attack and supporting his central pawns. Kukesh captures the b2 pawn. Sorry, Gukesh captures the b2 rook with knight x b2. So after the move, game 8 ended in a stalemate after both players agreed on that position. Throughout the game, both players showed great respect for each other's ability, avoiding significant tactical blunders. This kept the match exciting, and both Ding Liren and Gukesh well within the chance to bag the championship title, as upcoming games will not be of lesser importance. Thank you so much.